What exactly EA is?
You are like the first line of defense to your boss.
Defense from whom?
Defense from everyone.
And what was the pressure of studies like in JBIMS?
So it was very rigorous. There was a screenshot that was circulating in the MBA community in 2020, which had the schedule of JBIMS for one particular day, wherein we had lectures from 6:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. without even a 5-minute break.
You were involved in raising 150 crore. What was that process like? What is the pay like? A CEO or leader you would love to shadow for a day. I want to be an EA. What should my profile look like? How should I begin building that kind of profile? Welcome to the Future You series. My name is Ashish Chuk and I'm your host for this. Future You series at IMS talks about various types of roles that one can land after MBA. It is important to know what are the skills that are required in a particular role, the challenges that come along with that, and the career trajectory. In this episode of Future You, we have brought with us Gurudutt Kakade. Gurudutt is an electrical engineer and then he did his MBA from JBIMS. After that, he was absorbed by Kotak, where he worked as a management trainee for over 3 years. He later realized that his calling lies in entrepreneurship, so he started his own venture. After working there for some time, he started something very different. He got into the founder's office role, which is called the executive assistant with Universal Sompo. After that, he worked with Dream 11 in the same role. He is currently at Wilson & Hughes. We are here to talk about that dynamic role called the executive assistant or founder's office. I welcome Gurudutt.
Hey, hi.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
What this whole dynamic journey is about, what basically inspired you to go into the current role after leaving the conventional idea of post MBA work?
My journey with conventional roles ended when I did my own venture. Before that, I was working at Kotak, which is a very structured job. Once you are in corporate banking, 3 years is a lot of time to understand corporate banking, and then that is how you continue your career journey. Once I did my own startup, that is where all this conventionality ended. Easily, I took up a role as an EA to the MD and CEO at Universal Sompo. Post which I got opportunity to work across different industries, and that is where an MBA comes into picture. It gives you that breadth to navigate through the various challenges across different industries.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think our viewers would like to know what exactly EA is. Executive assistant can be construed as anything, especially in our country.
Yeah.
What is you being an EA?
So the kind of work that I've done as an EA to 3 different amazing founders and CXOs involve stakeholder management, heading investor relations, doing financial operational due diligence, working on client presentations, investor presentations, working closely with other CXO officers, aligning the entire board agenda, working with the company secretary to, execute board meetings from scratch.
Do you also provide suggestions to the CXO members?
Very good question. So today, when you're working as an EA to any CXO, they are not interested in the various choices that you are giving. You are supposed and you are expected to give them an executive decision. You cannot just go to him and tell कि sir 1 2 3 4 option hai. You have to go and tell him 1 2 3 4 option hai, but option number 2 is the best and this is why.
So I'm expecting here, Gurudutt, that there is a lot of responsibility on you, and a fresher might not be well suited for this kind of job. And I think you also did not get this one immediately after your MBA. So how did that happen? Who basically headhunted you and why?
When someone is hiring for an EA position, they are not looking at a particular skill set. Rather, they want someone who has been a top achiever in various things that he's done. And entrepreneurship gives you that opportunity to showcase that you have worked across different things and you would be able to handle the pressure and the tasks assigned to you. Because most of these tasks that come your way as an EA are not specific. Most of them are ad hoc. You are like the first line of defense to your boss.
Defense from whom?
Defense from everyone.
So immediately you are saying that you can get any sort of work.
Yes.
And this definitely would erase that demarcation between personal life and professional life. Just before this podcast, you said that you are married. It should be difficult to manage.
It is very good observation. It is. As a matter of fact, the first thing that I do when I wake up is check my message from the boss, and the last thing that I do before going to bed is update my boss about what has happened during the day.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So now, but the good part is, I met my wife at JBIMS, so she knows how I am, and she knows what is expected from me, so she's okay with it.
And what was the studies, the pressure of studies like in JBIMS?
I was a part of the student academic committee, so we were basically the 6 people who were scheduling the lectures. So it was very rigorous. As a matter of fact, there was a screenshot that was circulating in the MBA community in 2019 rather, which had the schedule of JBIMS for one particular day, wherein we had lectures from 6:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. without even a 5-minute break.
What are the skills? Let's talk about skills in two facets. One is the non-technical skills that are needed to become an executive assistant of your kind, and one will be the technical ones. Let's start with the non-technical. Top 3 skills.
Top 3 skills, non-technical, and this is common across industries: people management, solid communication, and ability to work for long hours.
If somebody does not have good communication skills but wants to become an EA, what to do?
They can always practice and improve.
How?
So one of the suggestions that my seniors used to give me, which fortunately I did not have to take, but my seniors used to give us, was join a Toastmasters club, or join some club wherein you go on elocution clubs, debate clubs, wherein you go and improve your communication skills. Because when you come in the first year of an MBA, not everyone is gifted with this skill of having good communication, right? But this can always be developed.
Okay. And what about the technical skills? Let's talk about 3 technical skills that are needed.
Okay.
See, you are not an Excel guy. You are not just the scheduler. You are way more than that if you are a strategic EA. And a strategy cannot just be an outcome of Excel sheets.
Correct. So your first question was soft skill, right? And these soft skills were common across industries. Now coming to hard skills, the answer is it depends. So in my previous organization, Universal Sompo, I was doing a lot of financial modeling, financial analysis. Since I was also part of the core team that were raising funds, so I had to do a lot of operational and financial due diligence. In my current role, I am more of a presentation and a Power BI guy. As a matter of fact, I have started learning data visualization tools because that is the need and that is what is expected from me. So in terms of hard skills, it depends, but to give you 2-3 hard skills, those would be, first of all, you need to be good at project management. Secondly, some sort of financial analysis, financial modeling is required, because at the end of the day, your boss would want to look at the numbers, right? And third is you need to prepare solid presentations.
And you see, that's quite interesting here. Kick-ass presentations, ability to deal with numbers, and churning out the data.
Yeah.
And all these things are now being helped by generative AI.
Yeah.
How this generative AI, any sort of, let's say ChatGPT 4.0, I think this is the most recent one. How does this help you and play in your role?
It is an amazing tool. It makes my life easier. Had ChatGPT not been there, I would have been spending 2 hours extra every day doing the sort of work that I am doing. So it actually augments you, it actually complements you to get your work done faster. Because if you want to crunch some data, if there is a rudimentary Excel sheet and you just want to make something out of it, instead of applying your mind to it, you can just put it on ChatGPT and ask relevant questions and get those insights.
And do you verify those answers, responses?
Yeah. That is a must.
So will it be okay, instead of going for the 3 technical skills, the 4th one definitely should be learning generative AI in today's times?
You can say that. I have not learned so much because what I've heard is there are prompt experts as well when it comes to ChatGPT. I don't know what kind of work they do, but yes, I think that would be an additional skill set, and going ahead, I think even I should learn that.
But people are quite interested that you worked with Dream11 as in the founder's office. So, what were the top 2 to 3 things you learned about leadership and business building in that stint?
So yeah, so the first part to my answer would be culture, because even as CEO of Dream 11, Harsh is very particular about hiring the right people, right? So the first thing that I learned, so as a business owner, you need to align your culture first. At Dream 11, they believed not in hiring superstars but in hiring great team players. So answer one is culture. Second is attention to detail. They pay a lot of attention even to minutest of the minute details, like how the bottom navigation should look, how the points table should look, what shade of red should be used in the app, right? And the third thing is user obsession. People at Dream 11 are obsessed with their users, and they are obsessed in making their users life more comfortable. So these are the top 3 things that I learned at Dream 11.
Amazing. At Universal Sompo, you were involved in raising 150 crore through subordinated debt. What was that process like? In a very layman language.
Okay, so we were a growing company. अभी बैंक्स में क्या होता है, यू हैव टू मेंटेन अ कैपिटल, सो दैट रेशियो इज कॉल्ड कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो. यू हैव टू मेंटेन इनफ कैपिटल. Similar things happen in an insurance company wherein you have to maintain a certain level of solvency, right? Since we were a growing company, the board approved solvency level was getting hit, right? So we thought, let's go for a capital raise, and we had 5 promoters. So we started looking at alternate ways of raising capital. IRDAI, which is our regulator of insurance sector in India, insurance industry in India, also considers subordinated debt as a form of capital while calculating solvency. What is subordinated debt is nothing but unsecured loan.
Okay.
One form of unsecured loan, right? So we realized that we can, raise capital via this route and improve our solvency as well as grow business. So that is how we went about it. There were a lot of challenges while raising this debt. One of them being a compliance comment came in at a last moment, for which we had to, sort of set up a war room within a day and, assess what would be the cost benefit analysis and decide whether we should delay our fundraise or not. And we ended up delaying it by 2 months, and we were aware of it. So I was part of a core team of 4 people, the other 3 being the CFO, Chief Investment Officer, and Company Secretary. So 4 of us were working in tandem. And I was, responsible for creating pitch decks, investor presentations. I was also the single point of contact with our legal counsel. एक ना placement memorandum place करना पड़ता है, wherein you have to outlay your company's operational strength, financial strength, what are the risk factors, what are the legal factors. So it was a 150-page document, and at one point मेरे को पूरे 150 pages याद हो गए थे.
Wow.
So
Wonderful.
Yeah, so the amount, the breadth of work that I got to do on this project was amazing.
This is our most popular question. I want to be an EA. What should my profile look like? How should I begin building that kind of profile?
When it comes to an EA, they are not looking at a particular kind of skill set. You have to have the ability to demonstrate that you have excelled in whatever you have done.
Somewhere you will get a job posting, let's say on LinkedIn.
Correct.
And you file your CV there.
Correct.
A CV should be shortlisted before they can even reach out to you.
Correct.
One thing can be that you just give the CV, they select it, they call you. Second thing is maybe through a network, somebody pushes your CV, and in that case also they have to evaluate. What are those 3-4 things that is a must have in a CV for someone to consider you for a founder's office role?
I would tweak your question a little bit, because what I've seen, what I've generally observed is EA का कोई specific JD नहीं होता. Most of the firms who are recruiting an EA ask for a cover letter or an essay or something in the mail body itself, explaining them why you are a good fit for this role. So that is how most of the recruiting happens for an EA role. Obviously, a reference works the best. If you have a warm referral, if you know someone at that company, you can always approach them and explain them why you would be a good fit. But if you don't have a warm referral, this is how they are hiring.
Gurudad, our users would like to know what is the pay like? And I know that you can't really disclose yours, and you can't give a specific number. So we'll talk in ranges. Okay. The first range will be between, say, 10 and 20 lakh per annum. Second is between 20 and 30. Third is 30 and 40. And fourth is beyond 40. So I'm taking a 10 lakh worth of gap, and after 40, it's open. What is the starting salary like, and how does that change on the basis of company and experience you have?
The answer rate, it depends on your experience, right? So you can become an EA after 3 years of working somewhere. You can also become an EA, let's say, after 15 years of work So my predecessor at Universal Sompo had close to 15 years of work So I'm assuming he must be getting paid a lot, maybe beyond the salary brackets that you told me. But generally it's a well-paying job. You can always find out the average salaries at top B schools, right, using their placement reports. EA role would pay you better than that.
Year old will pay you better
So
than
let's
that.
say you got placed at an average salary from a B school.
Let's
and
say the
you
median-
work for 3 years. You work for 3 years, take out 10% hike for 3 years.
Mhm.
So an average person would be getting this much amount after 3 years of working and passing out from a B school. You are expected to get that much or even more.
So let's say, what's the median salary at JBIMS?
I have not tracked, but I'm assuming it should be around 25.
Yeah, it should be around 25.
Yeah.
Let's say 25.
Yeah.
So for 3 years, you go for a 10% add on to it.
Yeah.
25 plus 10,
30.
2.5 add. Let's say that it becomes 31. And when, after 3 years, if a person applies for an EA role, the person is expected to get more than 31. More than 31 or way more than 31.
Again, it depends on your negotiation skills as well.
But definitely more than 31.
Definitely, it's a good paying job.
So it will be good to say that my very first bracket, 10 to 20, is useless.
No. So the answer that I gave you is from a point of view of a person who graduated from a top tier B school.
Top 20, 30 B schools I'm talking about.
But then not all companies want someone who is from a top tier B school, right? So I've seen jobs for strategic EAs which pay in 10 to 20 as well.
Okay. That's wonderful. Recommendation for any certification if somebody should do.
Related to an EA role?
EA role or things that are related to it?
The answer is none.
None.
You're not expected to have any sort of certification. You can go for project management, PMP sort of a thing. That will help, but that is not required as such.
But that's an add-on.
That's an add-on.
So let's talk about such 3 add-ons. One is project management, which is fine. But I think, that also has a cost associated with it. You will have to take some, lecture series, and you have to complete the credits, and you will get that certificate. What else would be there that would look good on your profile?
Having some sort of knowledge about digital marketing.
Digital
would
marketing.
really help, because at the end of the day, you are also expected to drive sales for your CEO. As a matter of fact, the CEO himself is expected to drive sales for the company, right?
Right.
So if you have some sort of insights into digital marketing.
Digital marketing is second. One
Project management.
is project management. Second is digital marketing. What else?
Let's say do some course in advanced Excel or data visualization tools like Power BI or this Google Looker Studio. If you have a grasp over these tools, then that is good to have.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You have just answered something really important, because see, MBA is a very, very flexible field. And then, you can go become an MBA here. Oh, MBA. But then what are the skills needed are very much dependent on the type of role.
True.
But there are some skills which are quite universal. And you have given those 3 types of skills which probably would work in every single thing.
Yeah.
Along with ChatGPT that you earlier talked about.
Yes.
Very nice. Thank you so much. So for students who are preparing for CAT, and rather I'd say B school exams this year, and aiming for top B schools, I must say that, what kept you motivated through your prep journey?
You need to have, small milestones. So to give you an example, when India was playing New Zealand, I don't remember the year, and we had to bat for 2 days to avoid a defeat. And eventually Gautam Gambhir and Rahul Dravid ended up, bailing us out of that situation. So in the post-match interview, when the reporter asked them ki what was going through your mind, so Dravid said this thing that we were not looking at the target, but we were looking at staying not out for the next 5 overs. So you need to set those small, small incremental targets, and that is how you will stay motivated, while preparing for CAT or any other B school examination. As a matter of fact, for any examination, you need to set mini milestones and hit those at your decided timelines.
For country obsessed with cricket, you have
Yes.
really given a bang on analogy.
Yes.
So we'll do a rapid fire with Gurudat. One thing you miss about your B school:
My friends,
boardroom or brainstorming room?
boardroom, definitely.
Why?
That is an outcome of brainstorming. You cannot go to a boardroom before brainstorming.
Dream 11 or dream job?
Dream job.
One book or course that changed your perspective?
So I'll give you 3 books rather. One is Good to Great, second is Toyota Way, and third is Black Swan.
A CEO or leader you would love to shadow for a day?
Definitely Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Paytm.
Why?
Because I've seen his journey from building something with limited resources and scaling that thing to one of the biggest fintechs in India. And I think personally that he's a very resilient and a down to earth guy. That is what I love about him.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What advice do you have for students who want to explore roles like strategy, corporate EA, and even build their own venture someday? Which are all the 3 things that you have done?
So I'll answer this in 2 parts. First of all, enjoy your work, right? Follow your passion, enjoy your work, and let fate take you where it takes you, but don't stop enjoying your work. And second part would be, this is something which my senior had advised me at Dream 11. When you are an EA, always try to do your supervisor's job, and that will help you excel in this role.
So that was Gurudat for us. We are very thankful to him that he took out time from his really, really busy schedule. And I know that he would be humble in saying that no, that's all okay. But I know how busy his days have been, whether it is a weekend or a weekday. And this was our podcast on executive assistant. If you liked it, wonderful. Subscribe us. Comment your questions if you have any. And in the next episode of Future You series, we'll bring another interesting personality and we'll talk about another interesting career role.